Welcome to Football Dialogue. Today we'll be talking about all of the things that have been happening in Premier League football, and as well as the start to another season of fantasy football, which we are going to use to end today's episode. So we'll be talking about two things today, which will cut around my rankings for the Premier League top teams, and as well as the top managers in the Premier League this season. So, starting with Premier League teams now. Like we all know, we've got the traditional top 6 teams, even though a couple of them are not in that category anymore, but we still regard to them as being the traditional top 6 based on the size of the club and what they have achieved in their history or in the past. So starting with the top 6 teams, then I'll go down to the other 4 teams just to make it top 10 for this season. So, and these are my evaluations of the team based off what they have done in the summer transfer window, what they've achieved in the previous season. These are the criteria I'm using: the managers they've got, how they are set up, the form that they've had, the level of mentality in the team, and their style of play. So it's going to cut across all of these criteria for me to be able to come to a conclusion on how I'm going to place all these teams. So starting with Manchester United. I think they are going to finish this season outside of the top 6 again. And however, they will be better off than last season for sure. So I see them, based on what have happened so far in the transfer market, the activity has not been superb, because I really think they are lacking in the midfield. I would say you can go into a season wanting to compete with the big boys, with Ugarte and Mino being a good player. To me, I see him as a top player and somebody that can develop if he's under the right management. But based off the manager that they've got now, is somebody who is still learning, and I can't really pinpoint where he is going to end up in the future as a manager. However, they've been hyped around him for the last 2 seasons, and I've always been against all of the people that have been hyping this manager, and the videos, the clips, the comparison they've churned out based on what he has achieved in the Portuguese league. I believe that has served as no evidence to him being on a great path towards being one of the greatest managers. But some people are just, I think they move ahead of themselves in analyzing all these managers and what they can achieve with big clubs in Europe, because we've had the experience before in the past. As a Chelsea fan, we all know Villas-Boas, how he struggled after doing so well with Porto, and then we brought him into the team, but you could see that he was a disaster for us. So things like this happen. It's just people just need to deep dive into the manager that they think that would work for them as a team, but they went with the trend, with the noise, and appointed Amorim. So I don't see Amorim achieving so much with Manchester United. So I'll place them at at best finish. I think they will just finish 8th. Manchester United best finish will be 8th place finish. They've got built attackers. It's just for them to blend into the team, but they haven't got any pattern of play. There's no style of play, so when there's no style of play in the team, and you don't understand the strength of your teammates, how best they can receive the ball, how the runs that they make, the understanding is not there yet, and they brought in. However, it's good that they signed players that are already used to the Premier League, in the likes of Mbeumo and Cunha. But Sesko, I think, is somebody that is going to struggle in the league. But let's see. People have other opinions about him, so let's see what he can achieve. But I don't trust any Bundesliga player, and you can see from last night, Florian Wirtz, he flopped. So things like this are what we are going to be seeing this season, and it's going to be a great season, especially for us Chelsea fans. It's going to be a great season for us. Manchester United, okay, like I've said, 8th place finish, defense not good enough, midfield average, attack is 6/10. So 8th place finish, I would say. Next on the list, we'll talk about Liverpool. We see what they did last night. They struggled to an extent, and in the last record that I made, I exactly pinpointed all of the things that happened last night. It's just that the video was 5 days old, and there will be no need to churn that out anymore because it's now in the past. So hopefully I can get this video done in time and upload for everyone to see. So Liverpool, good team they've got, but there are still loopholes in the team, and they needed 2 signings after winning the league last season, but they've gone ahead to sign players that they don't really need. The players that they need in the roles that they've signed are backup players. Apart from Kekes is a good signing anyways, but I don't think Frimpong is better than Bradley. They would have given Bradley a chance to come through and maybe look into internally maybe an academic player that they can bring up again, or maybe just sign someone who is just as decent as well. But signing Frimpong does not seem like a right back to me. It's not a right back. He's played right wing back and as a winger all his life. So fitting into the right back system in Liverpool is never going to work. So I believe they are going to struggle from that side. And Konate is looking shaky too as well. Even though I actually mentioned this in the video that I made earlier. Maybe I might actually put that out for people to see, just as an evidence that I've actually envisaged all these things that happened during the match last night. So yeah, Konate, I know he's not signing a new contract, and you know what that means. His head is not fully in Liverpool right now. He's thinking of where else he's going to go in the summer next year, which could be Real Madrid. Who knows? He might just play good to an extent, but he's not really motivated because he knows he's not got any future in Liverpool again because he wants to leave. So I do think that they need a centre back to pair Van Dijk, and Van Dijk is aging. A time will come when Van Dijk will no longer be Van Dijk, and we don't know when that time is. It could be this season, you know. Players don't tell you when they want to decline. You just see it happening. We have seen it for so many other great players. So Van Dijk is not exclusive, you know. So they'll struggle in the defense. Their midfield isn't great. That's where they needed a player, and a defensive-minded player in the midfield. Gravenberch did well last season, but he's going to be cut out this season. And McAllister and Szoboszlai are attacking-minded players, to be fair. So they need somebody who is going to help them sit comfortably in the base and shield their defense that is not really good right now. So Liverpool, I think they will struggle, but if you want to place them based on what they have done last season, you still want to put them in the first place. But realistically, looking at it, I think they can be displaced by Chelsea. So Liverpool, I'll say, just to remove my bias for my own football club, I'll still put them at first place. Maybe and a slot will be able to figure it out during the season, and maybe when January comes, because Salah will be leaving for AFCON too as well. So we need to consider that, and Salah is a big player for them. How would they adapt? I don't know. So I really do think they'll finish second. I'll put them second. Liverpool second. The attack is great. Ekitike is going to struggle, I think. He started well. People say he started well, but from last night I saw some some weaknesses in his game that will not suit the Premier League. That the weak, obviously, weaknesses cannot suit any league. So his weaknesses will be exploited in the Premier League. I'll put it like that. His weaknesses will be exploited this season for sure. And what I see as a weakness in Ekitike is he's not got that aggressiveness that the Liverpool attackers got when they're transitioning. He's not got great technique like most people have identified. His technique on the ball it's just average to me. He can do better with that. And you could see all the headers that he misses. He missed last night, especially. You could see headers that should have at least been on target. He's not been able to put them in. And general link-up play, I would say that's a 6-7/10. To be fair to him, he's still a young player. He's still got age on his side. He can still improve on a whole lot of things. So let me not be harsh on him. So he's a player that I think can go under the right management too as well. But that's what it is. So second place finish for Liverpool. Next one on the list, I'll talk about Chelsea. Chelsea, first place finish for sure. Signings have been great. The only thing that can not help them to finish where they should finish based off the squad that they've got is the manager. I still 100% do not trust Maresca. So, but let's see how this season pan out. I hope Maresca will be able to do things right like he did against PSG in the final in the Club World Cup. That was a shocker for most of us. When we saw the lineup, it excited a number of us as a fan base because we realized that from the lineup, Gusto is not going to play any inverting role, so he was going to play his natural roles, a role that he understands well, and you could see what he did in the final against PSG. It was so good in that final, and that really helped us. He gave us that stability, he gave us that balance to be able to operate from the back and in the attack too as well, and he gave the defense and Sanchez confidence too as well. They were very motivated, and I think that could also praises should also go to Willie Issa, who is the mentality coach, who's coming to the team in January. He's really improved the mentality of the team, and all those things Maresca have been saying prior to that about us not being a title race, not being good enough, and not being this and that. All those things is thrown out of the window now. This season, we're ready, and we are going to finish in the first place. Chelsea, come on, Chelsea! Yeah, Chelsea, we're going to finish first place. We've got great player in Dilap and Joao Pedro. We've got Estevao who is coming, who is looking like he can give us a good season that is going to match peak Mahrez, you know. I really do think that. And then we've got great player in Dilap and Joao Pedro. Joao Pedro reminds me of Suarez. I love a striker who can create chances for himself, who can link up on the play, who can drop deep and attack some spaces, you know. He's silky, you know, his moves, his positioning, everything is fantastic. His technique, his shooting ability, that's what I love from a striker. I love strikers that know how to shoot, and that's Joao Pedro for you. He's got that. The only thing that is going to be lacking, that I know for sure, maybe fitness. It might not be as fit as Suarez. Suarez have always been. If he can be fit like Suarez, we're going to get a a super season from Joao Pedro. And Dilap, to me, is Kane. I see Harry Kane in Dilap. The only thing again is the fitness. Can they stay fit like Kane and Suarez have done over the years? That's one thing that I doubt. But if they can, oh my days, it's going to be peak for all our oppositions this season. So yeah, Chelsea, first place finish. Next one on the list, Man City. Man City, they are still trying to rebuild. They've got oldies in their team, just like Milan of those days. AC Milan, you know, players are getting old, and you're just trying to bring in players to adapt to the system that you have in the team, even though they are not used to that system. Too many players that will need adapting this season for Man City, so I don't see them doing too well this season. So best finish, I would just give them a 4th place finish, Man City. They've still got a good team, but it's just for them to, they've got a good squad, I would say. It's just for them to be able to bond as a team. There's a difference between having a team and a squad. They've got a good squad, but the team is not there yet. They need to rebuild the team now. Let that connection, the synergy be there. And that's something that I know Pep Guardiola can do. He's a top manager, so he should be able to fix up. So 4th place finish, I give City. And next on the list, Arsenal. Arsenal, as you know, I know them better than they know themselves. So I don't need to talk too much about Arsenal. They're always talking about Gyökeres. Oh my days, this is what it's going to be. Or like this. Gyökeres he can work for so many systems, and I do think that it's going to work for Arteta. Arteta might get the best out of him. Arteta has gotten the best out of Kai Havertz, to be fair, and no matter how bad he's been able to at least get something out of him, and he's also gotten the best out of Merino. Merino is a midfielder, and he's been able to strike for them, and he's been able to do so well, link up and get some goals for them, headers and shooting. He's done that for them. So Gyökeres, I don't see him struggling this season, but the hype around him banging, that's not going to be the case. He's going to get goals, but not a decent amount that is going to help them to finish above Chelsea. Yeah, so Arsenal, what do I think about them? They've still got a decent team. They've got leaders in their team, in the likes of Gabriel, Rice, Saliba. Saka is a leader, I think. Yeah, so they've got good players, and Lewis Kelly is a decent fullback too as well. And yeah, they have a good team. They have Arteta, so I just hope everything does not go well for them. But I do think they will be among those competing for the title. So I'll put them in the 3rd place finish, Arsenal. And next on the list, Tottenham Hotspur. Good signings this season, but they should have done more. I just felt they were aggressive in the transfer window when they made the announcement of the signing of Kudus and Gibbs White, but Gibbs White did not work out for them. And since then, they became quiet. But now they're active again, and they are looking to bring in the likes of what's this player? Tottenham are looking to bring in some players. Yeah, Eberechi Eze. Yeah, they're looking to bring Eze, and they're looking to bring another player again. And if they can achieve that, it's going to be really, really good for Tottenham. So for me, Thomas Frank understands the league. He understands that he needs to respect some teams and not like Ange Postecoglou, or whatever his name is, who just had a particular philosophy and he died with the philosophy, playing in Ireland with his sports team. That's stupid. That's absurd, That's absurdity. So Thomas Frank is going to get Spurs. He's going to push them higher this season, and they are going to get a higher place finish this season, much more than they did last season. They were too bad last season. So I really do think Spurs can finish 7th. Yeah. I'll put them 7th, 6th, 7th, well 7th. Let me put Spurs in 7th. So that's I think that's all of the teams, the top 6 teams that have ranked: Chelsea, Liverpool, Man U, Man City, Arsenal, and Tottenham. Yeah. And so next one, and that are outside of the traditional top 6 that I think would make these top 6 teams, would be between 4 teams. And I'll mention Brighton, Sunderland, Nottingham Forest, and Everton. So those 4 teams, I really believe 2 of them will fill the top 6 space. So, but if I want to choose out of the 4, based off what they've done, the activities they've done in the summer, and how I think they are looking as a squad, Brighton, I'll put them in the 5th place finish. They haven't got European football to play this season, so it's just 1 game a season. And we have so many teams in the league this season playing in Europe. We've got Crystal Palace playing in Europe, Nottingham Forest playing in Europe, Aston Villa playing in Europe, Spurs, Newcastle, and the likes. So it's going to be a struggle for the people that are not used to playing more than a game per week. So that's why most of them will fall off. That's why Brighton will have Brighton will get in top 6 finish. And I'm not ruling out Bournemouth too. Bournemouth can do it. They can pull a shocker. They are like the underdog because they've got one of the best manager in the league, and we are going to come to that. So, yep, Brighton 5th place finish, and I'll put Sunderland 6th place. So we have Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Brighton, Sunderland, Spurs, Manchester United 8th place, and the 9th and 10th place finish I'll put Everton 9th and Nottingham Forest 10th place finish. So yeah, that's my ranking for the Premier League teams today. Cheers all, and in the next video I'll rank the top managers and we'll talk about fantasy as well.